With the NBA All-Star game coming to a close, the Phoenix Suns are getting back into action tonight, and we got some Suns updates as Kevin Durant is going back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time, he'll be playing at where he played in college. We're going to be diving into this, looking at some updates as well, revolving around the San Antonio Spurs as they just had a big injury and what those implications could mean for the Phoenix Suns. We're going to be getting into all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez, back with my co-host Curtis. Curtis, what's up, my guy? How you been doing?
Man, I've had some rough stuff going on, but I'm finally back in the building with you guys. I think you guys were all waiting. You know what I'm saying? I know you were waiting exactly for my time to come back. I know you were asking about me. I'm just kidding. But I'm glad to be back. Curtis Jones here with my man Bruce. Bruce has been holding it down. I'm happy to be here with Bruce again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Curtis. And yeah, Curtis, the fans were actually you tossed in some jokes, but the fans were asking for you in the live streams, asking for you in the videos. So I'm sure they'll be definitely happy to see your face right back on this
All
screen.
right.
Yes, yes, sir, yes, sir. But without further ado, guys, since you guys have been joining the content, if you guys do enjoy it, make sure to hit the like, make sure to hit that subscribe button to get all the Daily Suns updates. But Curtis, let's get into the news as he is back, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Durant, we did see return before obviously the all-star break had kind of went off as he went off in those recent games for the Phoenix Suns. But with this new news, KD is back where it all started as Kevin Durant and the Suns will play the Spurs in Austin on Thursday, where Kevin Durant used to play at the University of Texas. And this is going to be a nice little homecoming, a little nice reunion for Durant playing once again in that arena. Curtis, what are your thoughts when you hear about this? I'm actually kind of excited to see this game. I think it's going to be very interesting to see, and I'm predicting for Kevin Durant to have a big one tonight as well.
Well, if anybody out there knows, I've been living in Texas for a very long time at this point, and it's awesome. To think about the trajectory of his career, uh, killing it, killing it for Texas down here. He was one of if not the best college player in the world, and then goes into the NBA, has that phenomenal run. Keeping that college spirit alive with the Thunder. I mean, and then he has the villain arc. You know what I mean? And I feel like he's becoming more beloved again as a Phoenix Sun, and he's coming back to Texas. It's just full circle. I love it.
I love it too, and I think it's going to be really cool to see him play with this team. And unfortunately for the Phoenix Suns, they will be going with this team mostly full strength here. But for the Spurs, in that case, they just got some recent news, as we saw from Shams Charania today, that San Antonio Spurs All-Star Victor Wembanyama is expected to miss the remainder of the season with a deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. They're saying he has a little bit of blood clotting. They're going to take this obviously precautionary, which obviously makes sense. But for Suns fans that were looking to see Victor Wembanyama versus Bol Bol or Kevin Durant versus Victor Wembanyama in this matchup, they're unfortunately gonna be without it. What are your kind of thoughts when you see this, Curtis? I know a lot of fans across the NBA, even if you don't necessarily like the Spurs as a Suns fan, they're definitely hurt to see this as Victor Wembanyama is one of those bright young stars.
Especially when you look at the way that Wembanyama comes into the league. Before he was ever in the NBA, when they were speculating that he was coming over, people were talking about his height and how it's hard to stay healthy in as that type of player. But then the news comes out that he has a whole team that was working with him and making sure that his specific body build was able to stay healthy. And in that right, he's been doing such. He's been in the league and staying healthy. And for it to be something like a blood clot and not joint issues or anything like ankle issues like that, it's for that to be what the issue is, it sucks. You want him to stay healthy. He's been putting in the work to stay healthy, and unfortunately, we're just gonna have a rest of this season without him. And I hope that he comes back strong for the future.
Yeah, I really hope that he does come back strong. Like I said, this is a serious type of injury with, hit the wrong button there, but with some blood clotting in the right shoulder. It's not something to take just casually. So obviously the Spurs being very precautionary with this, going to sit Victor Wembanyama out for this rest of the season, hopefully to get him back by the start of next year. That's where Shams Charania predicts him to be. But unfortunately for the Suns, they won't be able to have this, kind of cool matchup versus Victor Wembanyama. But with obviously Victor Wembanyama going down, we can kind of look at the standings, Curtis, right? We see that the
Mhm.
Spurs, 12th in the Western Conference, they were kind of creeping up with adding De'Aaron Fox. They were a team potentially fans thought could get into the play-in. And for the Suns, that's ultimately their goal as well. They want to compete. They want to get up there. They have 2-game lead over the Spurs right now. They are, around two 1.5 games back out of the play-in from the Warriors here. With the Spurs kind of losing Victor Wembanyama, I think it's safe to say that they're probably not going to be making the play-in. It's going to be an 11-team race here. With the Phoenix Suns here, do you expect them to get a win, and do you think they really need to get a win here tonight versus the Spurs team to get off on that right start?
I mean, any win is a need. I feel like definitely we need to go ahead and take these guys out real quick. I don't see us having too much trouble unless they just get that we got your back Wimby power up. You know what I mean? I think we should be
Yep.
able to take this game. We see teams do that all the time. You get a star injured, and then those guys, some guy has a breakout performance, and they all rally together to make sure that they show their city they still got it. I would hope that we don't get that tonight against them. But I think we need this one. I think that with the schedule you were talking about earlier, how we have one of the roughest schedules, the hardest schedules coming into the second half of the season. If we can see better lineups and things like that for the team, I think we have the pieces. It's still just one of those things where Budenholzer has to play the rotations correctly against the teams accordingly, and not just run these random lineups that we've been seeing. I think we could make a run for it.
I agree, and I think that over these next couple stretches, like you mentioned, we're gonna have to see these type of little bit of internal changes. We've already kind of seen it with the Bull integration. He's been that guy that's been that standout player so far with this new second half of these, revamp, and I expect to see him get some action here as well tonight without Victor Wembanyama. We'll see how he looks. Kevin Durant, obviously playing back in Texas, expect him to be good. We want to look at the injury report for the game. We can see that for the Spurs, no Wembanyama, no Charles Bassey, no Riley Minks. For the Suns, ESPN has Grayson Allen and Devin Booker as game time decision, but according to Gerald Bourguet and notable other reporters in the Phoenix Suns, they are not on the injury report, so I think ESPN is just glitching here. Cody Martin is going to be out here for tonight's contest. But when you look at this game here, obviously, hopefully Booker and Allen are to get there, right? Beal is there. The big three is back. They look to take this game versus the Spurs. They get into that win column. What's your honest prediction for this Suns team in the second half? What are you really looking for?
If I go honest prediction, my honest prediction is bad because I don't ever. I'm not optimistic. I'm assuming we end up. I say what we get a 10th finish, 10th place finish. That's what I think. If we just go if we go the way that we're going, I think we might get a 10th seed finish. Uh, you know, but if we, that's my honest. Hopefully, if we get it together, I could see us. I mean, we're still right up in there with some of those teams. If any of them go on a bad streak, we could catch the Lakers or the Timberwolves or the Clippers. We can catch them if we go on the right type of streak and they go on a downtrend. So I mean, I could look for us to be up there, sixth to seventh, eighth seed. I think we're gonna finish 10th though.
I agree, Curtis. I think the hopeful instinct is to be in that first bracket of that play-in game. I think at this point we kind of understand that being a top six seed is going to be very out of reach. It would have to be like a miracle to get a top six seed. I think for all Suns fans to realize. I think at this point a play-in spot is more likely, and getting into that 7-8 seed could be possible. Like you mentioned, teams like the Mavericks have gone through some injuries. The Kings obviously going through with their new roster. This Warriors obviously trying to tinker and play with their new roster. The Suns could get on a little bit of run because they did keep a lot of their cohesion. They have a lot of their stars. They didn't make those moves to,
Hmm.
drastically
Hmm.
blow it up, which is key. But like you said, I think kind of the 9-10th finish is where they're realistically going to find themselves just due to the fact with that strength of schedule. But Curtis, as we all know, the Suns are taking on the Spurs tonight. They got that big game, Kevin Durant going back to Texas, but we're going to be live before the game as well, as we'll be here on Suns Digest at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. for Phoenix time. Break down everything Phoenix Suns. It will be a little bit of a shorter weekly stream this week, just due to the fact that there wasn't much going on last week with the All-Star break. But we'll look, obviously, at the Suns in more detail going into tonight's game, looking at the Suns in the future, and answering all your Phoenix Suns questions. Curtis, is there anything else you'd like to add before the end of this video before we sign off?
No, guys, I just want to add thank you guys for asking for me. I was actually joking. I didn't know that you guys were, and I'm glad to be back, man. I appreciate you guys looking out for me, man.
Of course, Curtis. The fans do love you. The Suns Digest fam is here to stay, and we always got to show our support. So I want to give a huge shout out to everyone for giving their love to Curtis and welcoming Curtis back as well in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts down below on this Suns team, what you guys ultimately think will happen. And we'll catch you guys in the next video as well. The Suns are on tonight, so there will be a post game coming. So make sure to stay tuned and up to date on everything. Like I said, you guys have been absolutely fantastic, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Signing off on Suns Digest, it's your boys Bruce and Curtis, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and peace out.